and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another experiment. So, you know what? I think I totally just fucked this up. I think we didn't get any audio of my intro. Whatever. We'll fix it in post. We'll do it live, god damn it. Shit. Fuck. I don't know why you should care. He's a longtime forum member. I think he's Canadian, so you and he should get along very well. Why is this? What the fuck? Hold on, I'm having like major software glitches. What the fuck is going on here?
Sup, you are swearing at my kids more than monkey.
Sorry about that. Sorry, kids.
If they've never heard it from me 20 times a day.
Sorry, guys. Jesus. Jesus. Yeah, so, like I say at every pre-planned podcast, I am your incompetent host, Sub-Messenger, and I'm once again demonstrating my complete lack of ability to produce anything of value.
So I'm sitting here with a minor by consent of his parent, one of his parents, not both. I'll probably get divorced. His code name is Lemur. We're going to refer to him as the Lemur. And Lemur, you stink. You need to wear deodorant.
I'm sorry.
So the other day, come close. I want you to talk to the microphone. You were at school and they took 10 minutes from every period to give you a quote unquote mental health day. What the hell did they go over in mental health day?
They mostly went over mental illnesses and the stigma against it.
Do you have a mental illness?
Not that I know of.
How do you know?
I said not that I know of.
Well, you're my child. You're definitely in therapy. I torture you daily. I give you as many punishments as I can. So you didn't want me to pull you out of this because you're like, I don't think I'm a shooter.
Yeah, because the first one was about school shooters.
And what did they go over in the one about school shooters?
Warning signs and like how to identify if someone's a school shooter.
So, am I correct in thinking one of their slides was like, if a young person has any interest at all in weapons, that's an unhealthy fascination.
Yeah.
So, do you and your peers, like when you guys were growing up, did you ever like play act like you were cowboys and Indians or soldiers or?
I mean, we did cops and robbers at one point.
Well, you're mentally ill, motherfucker! You're mentally ill!
Okay. Me and one of my friends drew a bunch of comics about a ninja.
Oh, you were on the...
Oh, yeah, you're definitely mentally ill there.
Ninjas, holy free.
Ninjas are
and
not
I don't
real.
Mean to be racist because I do know you are half Hispanic. Well, it's true. All right, so my wife just spoke to her. We're not saying his name. He's totally off the record. She's sharpening kitchen knives. Just shut the door. Just shut the door. I'll be divorced tomorrow. So, I mean, the lengths I'll go to fill in for you. I mean, like, she literally will wake me up in the morning or the evening or the afternoon whenever I sleep. I want to talk to you about that, actually. Sharpening kitchen knives. She's done that and brought up John Bobbitt. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's right.
I'm sure that's definitely not right.
Ooh, now she's really mad. I know, we're going to be quick. Just shut the door. Shut the door. She just gave me... I'm not going to... Holy... Oh, my God.
Okay.
What's up?
If I don't hear from you tomorrow, I will definitely call 911 on your behalf.
Nah, don't prosecute. It's justified. I mean, I got the veteran to deal for years. It's justified. So, half the time, you're on, like, an Asian time zone, aren't you?
No, well, yeah. So, yes, last year I was working very frequently with a client that I had many contacts in various parts of Asia that I needed to talk to. So I would be on the phone at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because, for some reason they want to have their calls at their noon time and not at my noon time. And so that's very inconvenient. They are the client. And so I kind of have to, kowtow to whatever it is that they want. But luckily, I don't have that problem anymore. All I have now are problems to solve domestically currently. So.
Well, I mean, for the past year, I've been doing like start at 12:30 a.m. my time, and then you roll into like at 10 a.m. my time, and by then you're starting your next shift, which for me is EST, and then you're going to like 6 or 7, and like I've been doing that for a year, and I'm a little bit shattered.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. All of this week I've been getting up at 4 a.m. Central. And that's just so I have, 2 or 3 hours of solid work time that I can get in without having to deal with anyone before I go into back-to-back meetings all day.
So this place that like I'm remoting into, their major festival starts tomorrow. And like I had to send out the message. I'm like, you're all fired. You're fired. Happy holidays. I'm thinking about you. Have a great festival. I love you guys. You're fired because you screwed up. It's horrible. You knew you did, and I'm just going to fire you. So you're fired.
Well, that's unfortunate. It also just occurred to me that I totally incompetently was probably causing that same audio loop that we had on a previous episode, and I just fixed it. So apologies in advance.
So did we have audio?
Oh, I think we do have audio now. I'm looking at the stream. Obviously, I can't play it at the same time that I'm sending it, but the stream health says we're live. We've been running for 7 minutes.
On Tuesday. Where was
no, so Omega is actually in training. So, I know, yeah, he is actually in training. I don't know if he's training for him, but he's got a couple of pros that train under him, and so that's going on right now. So that's why he's not able to be with us. I solicited him again, and he's great fun to talk to. I have not done an episode with him specifically, but we've had a great many of conversations, and he's good fun to talk to, and I wish he was on, but he's not because he has other shit going on. So what can you do?
Omega's making that classic Filipino mistake. Non-Filipinos cannot often tell a Filipino's age by looking at their face. So Omega's like, I'm young. I'm the only 50-year-old in the world, the only 50-year-old male that didn't get slow as I aged. Because nobody can tell how old I am because I'm Filipino. And let me just tell you something, like, because I get like white guys that say all the time, like, I'm still quick. And I'm like, you're 50. I'm like, I'm still quick. I'm like, yeah, just you. You're the only one.
Well, I don't know. He's still pretty young when you look at him.
You're not Filipino. You couldn't guess how many jelly beans were in his face jar. Not even close.
No, I'm Irish, so.
Right. Well, we're not going to get into your penis size. I mean, that's different.
Well, I'm not Irish everywhere. Come on now.
I know you're wide. I've heard the story. It was a very good story, by the way. You're very wide. I get it. You're like English Channel wide. Jesus.
All right, so I got this thing. So I had 2 things that I wanted to talk about tonight. And one ain't going to happen because my webcam is just not cooperating. I cannot get this thing freaking lit up. So that's going to be an effort for another day. But what I do have, are you seeing my screen?
Oh, it's beautiful. No,
oh, great. So
I'm on a phone. I'm on I did the alternate Skype because my computer was doing something else.
Oh, okay. But you can see the screen just really, really tiny, kind of like, penis size.
No, I can't see shit.
Oh, okay.
It says LG. Well, never mind. Oh, shit.
Oh, no. Whatever. So, yeah, that's a nice TV that you have there.
Right.
Or nice cell phone. Yeah, exactly.
No, what nobody knows in China, there's 5 manufacturers. They make LG, they make the VisiView, They make all the brands, the major TVs, but it's just like the fridges. There's 3 manufacturers that make all the brand names.
Right. There's one guy at the end that's got a different stamp that he throws on each friggin' case.
What's interesting with TVs, whether it be LG, whether it be a ViewSonic or whatever, we used to watch our TVs, but these TVs are coming out with cameras and are internet connected. They're watching us.
So that is a real thing. And believe it or not, I have not watched it, but everyone's favorite trader, Edward Snowden, has a video out today with Joe Rogan where yeah. So he was on Joe Rogan, I guess, last night, and they're talking about how, or at least in one segment, they're talking about how, your TV is watching you.
It is. They're not making that up.
Well, I know they're not, because I've got the friggin' Google whatchamacallit in the other room, and I've got an Alexa sitting right next to me. Shit, it just lit up, and I've got one upstairs, and, so they're definitely watching and listening. And so really the question becomes, is that data being consumed in a manner that would be controversial or objectionable?
Yes. And, I do some work in the sheriff's lab, on the idea is you catch pedophiles. So it's like kind of a good idea when you look at it from the outset. But one of the things you realize when you work in that lab is there is actually a text conversion of all these things you say into your Apple Watch or your phone, and it keeps kind of like this dictionary. So and the microphone's kind of always on if you're using a Siri or an Alexa or whatever, your favorite digital assistant is, and it's just recording everything you say all the time.
Right. So, yeah, because, at least from a development perspective. So, let me back into this a little bit. If you are a device manufacturer and you're putting something on the market that you're saying is going to respond to your exact requests, well, then you're kind of entering into a contract with the purchaser to say that, hey, this thing is going to work like I say it works. And part of that as a developer is that you need to be able to have an audit trail. And with a speech to text kind of situation, which is what we're talking about, you need to be able to replay the audio to validate what has been said against whatever your processing algorithm has spit out, right? So from one perspective, it's not necessarily a nefarious thing, but it is a microphone that is essentially, as Gonzo said, always on inside of your pocket, inside of your house, in multiple places in your house, inside of your car. Like a lot of new vehicles have, like 4G or even 5G coming out soon connections that are hooked up all the time. Like you talk about any kind of, what's it called in the GM vehicles? The OnStar, right? So like OnStar is basically a cell phone that's built into your car, and this is not a new thing. This has been going on for decades. So you have essentially a cell phone in your car that is potentially relaying information back to GM or, the OnStar customer representatives 24/7.
Did you see that movie War Inc. with John Cusack? It was kind of the successor movie to Grosse Point Blank.
No, but I loved Grosse Point Blank. So if it is a follow-up, I will definitely check it out.
Yeah, so War Inc. and that kind of artifact or technology plays a role, because whether he's flying to go assassinate somebody or he's driving in whatever you call it, Stan, they have that OnStar. It's like OnStar, and it gives him psychological counseling and directs him to where his next carnage is.
Wow, that's actually fascinating. Hey, so I have a question, and I don't think that this is I don't think this is a dumb question. I think this is really kind of why the hell not? So OnStar has been around for a long time. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that the patent must have expired by now, right? Because we all have cell phones in our cars as well. And there are new vehicles coming out all the time of different manufacturers that also have, voice capability. Like I have a Dodge, right? I have a Ram pickup. And
Holy
I can,
shit, you have a Dodge?
well, I have a Ram. It was a
I had a-
Dodge, but now it's a Ram. So anyway,
had a
I can
Dodge
talk to my
Ram.
pickup, and it's like 4 years old at this point, right? So I can talk to it and tell it to do things, and it understands and can do certain things like, make a phone call or send a text message. Nothing really fancy. But that tech is there, and it's in all these other cars. So really, the question is, why is OnStar just in the GM cars? And not only just in the GM cars, but it's only in the high-end GM cars, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, but I know like my a good friend of mine had a BMW, and like something happened, he got locked out. So we're sitting in the airport parking lot, and like it had something like an OnStar. Maybe they called it something different.
Oh yeah, you call them up, and if you can provide proof positive that you are the owner, they'll send a remote unlock. Yeah, there's lots of different vehicles that do that. It's not quite OnStar, but that is a feature in a lot of high-end cars, and has been for probably 10 years, maybe more.
I had a Dodge Ram van in high school. It didn't have OnStar, but it was like one of those. It had a bed, it had a table, it had like 4 captain's chairs. We called this thing the Red and Tan Get Laid Van. It was awesome. People wanted to borrow it all the time. It was a filthy thing. Filthy. It may not mean anything to you, Sub, but we had a good time in that goddamn thing. The table, one time, I guess we got too riley, and somebody sat on the table and went through the floor, and metal sparks were hitting the road, that kind of thing. And then we had a hole in the van where you could try to go to the bathroom out of, but it never quite worked. It would blow back up on you. The Red and Tan Get Laid van.
It sounds like a plan, man.
I'm just saying. Back in the day, 30 years ago, this was a big deal. Back when we used to drink, we had money for beer, never had money for gas, and never had money for ice. But we had beer.
So 30 years ago, my vehicle of choice was a 64 Chevy Fleetside pickup truck.
Well, that sounds like a good choice.
No, it was not a good choice.
All right, then.
That's a whole different story, though. But I love that truck. It's an awesome truck. We had several of them, and I'll end the story there and leave that for a future episode. But it was a good time.
So I want to pull in Lemur again. Lemur, Sub Messenger and I, we're old. We don't know what the hell's going on. You're in the schools these days. What are the kids doing today in the schools? Come close to the microphone. Can hear you there, Lemur. What are the kids doing in the schools these days? What's important? What's going on?
I really don't know.
So you had your mental health day, and now you practice shooting every week.
Mm-hmm.
But
correct.
but you don't want your school to know you practice shooting because you're worried you'll be punished for this.
Yes.
Right. You have talks with me all the time. You're like, Dad, don't tell the principal or the teachers that I practice shooting because I'll get in trouble.
That is correct.
And what do you make about that?
So hold on a second there, Bill.
Yeah. Hey, upset.
Oh yeah. No. All right. So I'm just taking a look at the levels here, and nothing you were saying is coming through.
Son of a. I don't know what to tell you. I'm on the mic. Oh, I'm speaking in my cell phone.
Yeah. So it sucks. So I'm going to have to probably conclude this, although I'm very interested to hear what happens next in this story. I'm just going to go ahead and kill the stream because I'm looking at the levels and nothing that you're saying is coming through.
I apologize. I will get the headset out of the box for next time. I just didn't even unbox. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even think it's your fault. I think this is just a technological limit and a lesson learned for going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this and